Hello friends and potential friends. Yeah, back with another garden update. Things are winding down pretty quick. Today is Friday, August 27th, 2021. And as you can see, I've still got an empty green stalk sitting on my patio. Hopefully I'll be doing something with that before too long, but let's wander around and see what's going on. In container beds, I've still got a few of my Ponderosa lemons down here. The mint's still doing good. The Corbaci that I was getting seeds from has still got some peppers on it. Ginger, still going crazy. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to buy any moss, I got plenty of it. They sell that stuff to tourists, crafters and things. But as you can see, the ginger is doing wonderfully. It likes it back here in the shade. The turmeric, doing just as good. And the turmeric and ginger that I've got planted in this one bed are still coming up pretty good. Of course, the aloe is still trying to take over the whole bed. Still have a rosemary down here on the patio. And the pineapple plantation, well, you may notice a few things missing here. So let me stick a couple of clips in here just to give you some explanation. Well, I guess it wasn't my wishful thinking. Interesting part is the one on the left ripened before the one on the right. But as you can see, they're both changing. That one on the left is falling over a little bit, so it's time to take it off of there. And there we have it. Nice top that I'll be planting. Still a little bit of green here and there, but for the most part, that's completely ripe. Smells pretty good too. And the one that's remaining is ripening as well. So won't be too long before that one has to come off of there. I might have to make some more jelly. Well, it's been 3 or 4 days since I harvested that first pineapple, and now it looks like the second one is ready. It started leaning over a little bit last night, and as you can see, it's fairly ripe. A little bit of green here and there, but let's go ahead and get this one off, hopefully this time without slicing up my arm. And there we go. Looking pretty good. About the size of a softball. I'm hoping by planting some of these directly in the ground, I'll get some larger fruit out of them at some point. But right now in the pots, I'm happy with what I'm getting. A little bit of green there, but a couple days in the kitchen and that'll ripen up. And I've got another top to add to the plantation. Yes, overall pineapple plantation is doing well. The datil peppers are still producing peppers. There, I think you can see one of them in there starting to turn. And there are a few green ones in there as well. The okra's been suffering. I know okra is supposed to be heat loving, but it sure doesn't love the heat down here. My red Marconis looking pretty sad, but they've still got some fruit on them, so I'll let them keep trying to produce. And my elderberry over here, it seems to be happy. Growing pretty good. Over in the main beds, The pineapples that I planted at the foot of each of these beds are doing pretty good. I finally got the string trimmer out here and got rid of some of the jungle. Rosemary, of course, still needs a haircut. And I have pulled up most of the cabbage collards because they've pretty much given it up for the year. But the ones that are left, still tasty. I'll be planting a few more of those pretty soon for my winter crop. Lemon drop peppers are still producing. Now I see a few in there, none that are ready to pick yet. My red habaneros, I'm waiting on those to produce some peppers. I actually have, I think there's 3 of them in here on this one plant. Hopefully you can see those hiding in there. The plants themselves look good, though they wilt in the heat every afternoon. The Pusajawalas, they still keep producing. Got a lot of green peppers here and there, and a few that are starting to turn. They're still looking pretty good. The orange and lemon habaneros, they're still growing, but I don't see any blossoms, and I haven't seen any fruit on them yet. Over on the sweet pepper side, banana peppers are still producing a few peppers. Well, I've had a lot of peppers rotting on me over here. That one's still got a bunch of blossoms here and there. And the Jimmy Nardellos, I've still been picking a few of these from the second flush. But again, a lot of these are kind of rotting. We've been going through a lot of wet and dry spells recently, and I don't think the peppers know what to do with it. Got a little bell pepper down here. There's some basil. That is the Thai basil. And there's a couple more bell peppers over there on the far side. A couple of Marconis in here. And the corbachis, well, they went crazy for a second time. And as you can see, they're loaded down with peppers again. Again, I've been getting a little bit of rot here and there, but I keep picking peppers. Oh, I see a Jimmy Nardello back there that needs to come off. Good, I'm gonna have a snack. Hang on for a second. And something bit it, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that one off. Okay, sweet potatoes. This end of the bed doesn't look all that great, but down at the far end, they're climbing all the way to the top of the trellis. Not sure what's going to happen in there, but probably in October I'll be digging these up. Usually I dig them in September, but I think I'm going to try to wait until October this year. Just give them an extra month. And as for my patience garden, well, the asparagus is still growing pretty good. My patience, still to be determined. Still have plenty of debris laying around. If anybody needs any firewood, just bring your chainsaw. I've been whittling away at this pile, slowly hauling it out to the road so the city can pick it up. My jalapeno peppers have pretty much stopped producing, although I see one that's still got some fruit hanging on it. There's a couple of little ones here and there. Still kind of a jungle in here. Gardenia is fixing to put on some more flowers. Florida avocado still doing pretty well. That original Ponderosa lemon is still hiding in the shade back there. I don't think it's got any fruit on it, but oh, I just spotted we still do have some flowers coming on here and there. Oh, and if we only had smell-o-vision. Those things are so sweet. The lemon drops that I've been growing for seed are continuing to produce. I see a few blossoms here and there and a few fruit still on them ripening up. There's a combination of both right there. My loquat, about 7 feet, getting close to 8. Lemon over here, and in the mini orchard we've got a small papaya over here. Squash that's not doing well at all. Looks like the bugs have found it. The guava is continuing to grow at a pretty fast rate. And there's one of the pomegranates that almost wound up under the debris pile. And a papaya that did wind up under the debris pile, but it's coming back strong. And then there's a fig that was under the edge of the debris pile, but it's still growing pretty good. My main papaya is still doing what papayas do. There are still a number of fruit growing on there. That one, bottom one, looks like it's getting, well, it's about 4, maybe 5 inches long. Might actually get some fruit out of that this year. More squash. The sugar cane is still kind of hanging in there, but not doing real great this year. I suspect it's time to move it somewhere else. My other Ponderosa lemon, still growing pretty good. The mulberry over here is doing good. The other pomegranate over here in the shade, not so good. That needs to be moved out into the sunlight somewhere. And the blueberry, that probably needs to move as well. The moringa back here is, oh, it's up about 8 feet. Hanging in there pretty good. I'm just letting it grow this year. I may trim some back in later in the fall and see if I can get some more cuttings growing. The okra down at its base, not doing so well because there's too much shade back here in the corner. And then I've still got a couple of California Wonder bell pepper plants back here. Currently they have no fruit on them. Looks like there's some signs that they might blossom again, but I'm not holding out much hope for that. It's getting a bit late in the year for them. Plus we're into our wet and dry season, so they have to go through the changes. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the mini orchard. And finally, here in the lab, Praxis cherry, still producing tomatoes for me. In fact, I see a couple back there I can pick. Good, I'll get a snack today. There's the other part of those pineapples that went missing. This was the first one that I harvested, and as you can see, the roots are coming along pretty nice on it. The second one has only been in here a couple of days, it's starting to produce some roots. So that'll bring me up to about 10 plants in the pineapple plantation. Now this little experiment back here, I picked up some mangoes the other day, mainly for the seeds. So I've got a couple of mango seeds planted in there, and I think I've got about 6 more in the house that I can plant. I'm going to give those a try again. And my catnip back there still hanging on. I've picked most of the seeds off of it and dried them out, and the rest of it I'm just letting it keep growing as long as it wants to. But that's pretty much the story down here right now. Everything is winding down for the spring and summer crops, and I am just itching to fill this space up with my fall plantings. But that'll be coming soon. I just have to try to be patient for just a few more weeks. I'll be planting seeds in the end of September, middle to end of September, with plans for them to go outside somewhere around the middle to the end of October. But that's it for now, so as always, I'll see you next time.